625 horsepower! Whoa! Jared here with carbuzz.com, and today I am out at the Thermal Club racetrack here in Palm Springs, California, driving a very special new BMW. This is the 2022 BMW M5 CS, the most sporty and limited edition M5 money can buy right now. Now, the M5 has been a legend in the BMW lineup since 1984, but buyers demand more and more performance out of their sports sedan, so BMW has had to keep upping the ante. It is now possible to buy a standard M5 and M5 competition, and above both of those, this limited edition M5 CS, the most track-focused and hardcore version. Let's see what the 2022 M5 CS is all about. So we're gonna start by hopping in the M5 CS, and we're gonna talk about what we get as part of that CS package, which stands for Competition Sport, the most aggressive that you can currently get on an M5. So we've got a 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8 engine up front. This is the same one you're gonna get in the standard M5, but it produces more power. We've got 625 horsepower, which is 10 more than what you're gonna get in an M5 competition. That means 0 to 60 takes just 2.9 seconds. 2.9 seconds in a four-door sedan. That's 0.2 of a second quicker than a standard M5 competition. And the way that power is delivered is a bit different too. We've got 553 pound-feet of torque starting from just 1,800 RPM all the way up to 5,950 RPM. So it's a 90 RPM wider power band than you're gonna get in the standard M5. Like the regular M5, all of that power is going out through an 8-speed automatic transmission to an MX Drive all-wheel drive system, but there is a rear-wheel drive mode if you want to pull some smoky burnouts. The CS also gets stiffer engine mounts, firmer springs, different tuning on the suspension, and available Pirelli P0 Corsa tires that are super sticky and great for a racetrack. So now we're driving the M5 CS out at Thermal Club to really experience it where this car belongs, out on the racetrack. We've got stiffer engine mounts, stiffer suspension, different tuning all the way around to make this the most track-focused M5 ever. We've got massive 6-piston front brakes, carbon ceramics here on this CS model, really bring this thing to a halt in a hurry. They also reduce the unsprung weight by over 50 pounds. And the whole package is 230 pounds lighter than a standard M5. That's a weight loss that you could really feel out on a racetrack like this. Now I gotta say, the M5 CS still feels like a rather big car, but there is just so much power in it. And I think that the weight reduction and everything that they've done here on this specialty CS model does make it feel more nimble and more special than a standard M5. This is the same thing. I was out on this exact same track driving the M4 CS, and I said to myself that I believe that these CS models just feel more special than the regular M models, and the M5 CS does not seem like the exception to that rule. It sounds louder, it turns in sharper, it powers out quicker. This is what I've always wanted from this generation M5, and I just have not been able to experience it. This is it! I love it! I think the M5 has just gotten so heavy over the years. It's become less and less of a driver's car, but with the CS, I think they've recaptured the magic. This thing is so great. What a weapon out on the track. BMW, keep making CS models. These things are great. So now that we're done on the racetrack, let's pull over and check out the wild exterior of this new M5 CS. But before we do, be sure to leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it so far, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to be alerted of all of our latest videos. So not only is the M5 CS the quickest BMW M5 and the most powerful BMW of them all right now, it's also the best looking in my opinion. You can only get the CS in two colors. You can get a frozen Brands Hatch Gray or this frozen deep green. It looks awesome when the light hits it, and it almost looks black when it's in the shadows. I love how the green pairs with the accent color here on the CS. We've got bronze kidney grills right here. Moving over to the side, we have bronze written M5. You can get bronze wheels as we see here on this car. I think they look fabulous. I think the whole look is absolutely gorgeous. And not only does it look great, it's functional as well. While we were driving, I mentioned that this CS model is 230 pounds lighter than a standard M5. That's because the hood, the roof, the mirrors, a lot of the elements of this exterior are all made from lightweight carbon fiber. So the exterior changes are crazy on this CS model, but wait until you see what they've done on the inside. And now that we've checked out the exterior, let's go ahead and hop on the interior, where the basic architecture is very similar to what you're going to find in a standard M5, but there are some clear indications that this CS model is bred for the racetrack. For starters, you can only get the M5 CS in one interior option. It's a black interior with a little bit of red accenting. We have some really cool touches like this little CS logo here on the dash. We also have M5 on these carbon bucket seats. These things are super aggressive, as we saw out on the road. I'm not a big fan of that bulge, but these seats really hug you in. They are going to be a massive choice though, because they are nowhere near as soft and plush as what you're going to get on a standard M5, and getting in and out of them is a little bit tricky. So I think if you're going to do the will my spouse be comfortable getting in and out of this car test, not sure the M5 CS is going to pass that quite as well as a regular M5. But although these seats aren't that comfortable, they are gorgeous looking. I love how there's a little bit of red on them. The backs are all carbon fiber, gorgeous. And I love how here on the headrest, you've got a little Nürburgring, a little outline of the Nürburgring in Germany kind of embroidered in there, letting you know that this car was developed on the green hell to be as fast as possible. And not only are the front seats buckets, but you also only get 2 seats in the back. So this is only a 4-seater car, whereas a normal M5 is a 5-seater. The rear seats aren't like full buckets, but they kind of feel like that too. It's kind of cool, but it does limit the practicality of the M5 just a little bit. And finally, you can tell that this car is not as luxurious as a standard M5. We have heated seats that are powered, but they're not ventilated like you could get on an M5. We've got carbon fiber everywhere, no sunroof, just a completely fixed carbon fiber roof as well. The rest of it is all pretty much the same. We do have this suede steering wheel that's a little bit grippier. Obviously, that's great for being on the track. We have our normal M1 and M2 buttons that you can use to configure the engine, chassis, steering, and all of that stuff. But the thing that I really love about the CS are these big carbon fiber paddle shifters. They are much better than the ones you're going to get on the standard M5. That is a nice touch. So that was the 2022 M5 CS. You can get a standard M5 starting at $103,000, but this CS model is more like $142,000. Now that is a lot of money to spend on what is essentially the same car that's also less practical and comfortable out on the road. But if you're into collecting those special edition BMWs, I do think that they've done enough to distinguish this from a standard M5 with more power, crazy seats, crazy exterior. And because they're only going to be making these for one model year, you will probably make money if you're able to snatch one of these new at MSRP. I hope you've enjoyed this review of the 2022 BMW M5 CS. For more videos like it, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. And if you want to read my full review on the 2022 BMW M5 CS, be sure to check out carbuzz.com. Link in the description below. I'll see you next time.